Hey everyone, it's me, Caroline Wright again, and today I wanted to talk with you about my poem called Excitement. It is also found in my book Chemistry Not Science, a book of poems, so if you want to read it, you should check that out. Excitement is actually a sestina, so that means it is a poem that has 7 stanzas. It's got 6 stanzas of 6 lines and a final triplet. So basically what happens in a sestina is you pick 6 words that are going to be repeated every stanza. They're going to be the last word of each line. And then in the final triplet, also called an envoy, all those words are going to be in 3 final lines. So it sort of wraps up the poem. And it's not necessarily the most pleasant of poems to read aloud just because you are doing so much repetition of those words, but it is kind of like a puzzle, and I love puzzles, and this poem was awesome to write, and it was unique and different for me just because I'm not used to writing them. When I learned about the sestina, I just knew I wanted to write one. And the story behind the title Excitement and the words that I chose: torture, nature, does, me, hurts, and closer. These were actually words that were in a very short poem called Excitement. When I was working on my manuscript before my book was actually finished, I had this poem that I had, this running poem that wasn't finished, and so when I set out to write a sestina, I just kind of borrowed the poem Excitement, used the words, and then went off to write the sestina, which for example, some of the patterns are the last word of the first line in the first stanza has to actually be the last word of the second line in the second stanza. And then this pattern repeats and repeats until you use up all the words, and then at the end, like I said, you use them all. And so these words and the title Excitement, I think when I was sharing the poem, people didn't really, they were like, whoa, that's a lot deeper and darker than we thought of when you said you were going to read to us a poem called Excitement. But there is a richer side to excitement that we all experience, and it's that longing and that that waiting for something that is pleasurable to us. But as you know, we often are longing for this person or thing so much that it sort of starts hurting, and it kind of feels like torture of pleasant nature, as I refer to in the poem. So we kind of want the excitement to end even though we love it, and so it's this deep side of excitement that we all feel. We don't usually talk about. Usually when someone says they're excited, we think of this manic happiness type of feeling, but in fact there is this really dark side to excitement that we all experience, and is actually pretty cool. So when people said, whoa, that's a lot deeper than I thought you were going to share with me, my answer to that is good. Excitement. Find it in my book Chemistry Not Science, a book of poems, and have an exciting day.